Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to the Foss Hill Observatory. So this is going to be a series of videos and maybe a future channel dedicated to the astronomical observatory that I'm getting built hopefully in the next year or so. This first video here, we're just going to show off the service road, simple gravel road that will give access to the observatory in the back part of my property here. So this is the front of my property right here. There's my driveway, my neighbor's house, utility pole right here where the power comes in. Had a couple of these big rocks moved, and the contractor that I hired has started the construction of the road. So we're just going to kind of take a walk down the road here and kind of see how the road gets us to the back of the property where the observatory is going to be built. So they brought in quite a few truckloads of gravel, as you can see here. Kind of pan this way. This red barn here I use for storage. That's also where my power comes in, as you can see right there where the meter is. So I'm actually having power conduit, underground conduit installed from that barn right there to the observatory. So I'll have power at the observatory. I'd thought about doing solar power, but I think with the costs, it was probably about the same to do it with solar versus having underground power run. Maybe a little bit less to do it with solar, but at least with underground power, it's there. I don't have to think about charging batteries or replacing batteries, anything like that. I am not going to be putting in any conduit for communications such as fiber optic cable or Cat 5, Cat 6 data to connect up to the house. It was just a little bit too much money. I can do it much more inexpensively with some point-to-point wireless units. Put one on the house, one on the observatory, and then I'll be able to remotely control the observatory. So the goal of this observatory is for my private use, but I'm also going to be giving access to the club that I belong to, the Central Maine Astronomical Society. So club members and public will be able to come out here for star parties and be able to look up at the stars, bring their own scopes. We'll put some concrete pads down, some small ones, some circles, to allow people to set up their own scopes if they wish to bring them out here. But we'll have a couple of permanently mounted scopes in the observatory. This road's probably about a couple hundred yards, 300-400 yards, something like that. They just did it all in one day, which is pretty cool. I wasn't sure how long it was going to take to get this road built, but they got it completed basically in one day. There's some touch-up work that they're going to work on. You can see here, well, sort of see that that's the excavator right there that they're using to build this road and to kind of compact the soil a little bit on the road. Nice shot of it here. It's a Caterpillar 308E 2CR. Nice unit. Contractor actually rents it. He doesn't own it, and it was cheaper that way, and he rented it for an entire week because he's got some other projects that he'll use it on, because this won't take the entire week. So he brought in some extra fill, and this is going to be the pad right here for the observatory. So these stakes are a little bit larger than the actual the concrete pad will be. It's going to be about 16 by 24, the observatory. It's going to be a roll-off observatory. So the concrete pad, I don't know if I'll have that completed this year. I'm hoping to. It depends on finances. But it's going to have a couple of piers in there. So they'll be dug separately from the concrete pad, and they'll be poured separately from the concrete pad to eliminate any vibrations or anything like that. The piers, I haven't really decided what we're going to put on for scopes. I don't own anything yet right now for scopes that could be mounted on on piers. I only have a Dobsonian, a 10-inch Dobsonian telescope, so clearly that's not going to go on the pier. But our club has a couple of scopes that we may put in here to use as for visual and for imaging. So, and I may down the road get an imaging scope set up so I can do my own work. We haven't really decided that as a club and as well as myself. But yeah, so basically my property is this whole lot right here. It's 11 acres, everything to the tree line that you can see. This way, facing these two trees here is north, and then this over here is west, towards where the sun is obviously setting right now, and then south. So this is really the money shot right here. So this is the southern view that those scopes are going to have once they're set up. Yeah, there's some trees on that edge of that property right there. I actually own that lot that's where those trees are. But I don't know if they really need to be cut down. I think they're fairly mature now. So I'll probably just leave those because they don't really obstruct that much of the southern horizon. Yeah, so that's really going to be where most scopes are going to be looking towards the south, because that's where the Milky Way, generally speaking, falls, especially right now in the summertime, because this is August 2022 right now, and you can kind of see the back of my house. So this pad here is probably about a little over 100 yards from the house, so it's a little bit of a walk. Winter time's going to be a challenge, I think. I haven't decided whether I'm going to have this plowed regularly, so not really sure what I'm going to do there yet. I have to see what it would cost to have that plowed out in addition to my driveway, if it's really worth doing or maintaining during the winter time, the road here, the service road, having it plowed out. So yeah, this is the start of my observatory. I bought plans online from backyardobservatories.com, I believe is their website. The plans are not bad. I wish they had a cut list. It did not have a list of, the lumber and all the other supplies that you would need. And it was not as detailed of a drawing as I needed, or really wanted, rather. I was able to bring it to the lumber yard, or actually my contractor brought it to the lumber yard to get a cut sheet built from the drawing. So I have an estimated idea of what it's going to cost for lumber. That's not going to get done this year. Building material prices are still somewhat high. They're coming down slowly, so hopefully by next year they'll be a lot less expensive. So building this observatory will be a little bit cheaper to get done. But yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun when this gets installed and put in. I think people will probably ask, well, why are you putting this in Central Maine? The weather here is not the greatest, especially as compared to the southwestern states like New Mexico and whatnot, where they have much better clear skies throughout a month versus Maine. But the thing is this is my backyard. I can walk out to it if I need to go to the observatory to install things, to repair, to fix things, to use the observatory. If I rented an observatory remotely from New Mexico, I don't have any of that. I have to do it all from a computer screen, so it eliminates the visual use of it. It's all imaging. So that's one of the main reasons why I decided to build this observatory. And this land and house that I bought several years ago, this is basically my dream. This had everything I was looking for. It has nice open land. It has extra acres, and the lots next to me, I've been able to purchase a couple of those. It also just has pretty decent dark skies. I wouldn't say they are super dark. This is probably a high Bortle 3/Bortle 4 sky. Looking south here, there is a slight light dome from the capital of Maine, Augusta, and out towards the west, there's a light dome towards Waterville. It's not too bad, so I don't think it's going to affect things too much, at least right now. Hopefully not in the future, if we can get more people to properly maintain their outdoor lighting and stop contributing to light pollution. I know that's a pipe dream to wish for, but if we can get the word out to tell people to stop putting up lights that shine up into the sky and properly sheared them, use the right wattage, use the right color temperature, etc. We can preserve the night sky for other people. So these two trees here that that are facing north here, the one on the right's a crabapple and the one on the left is a maple. I'm gonna leave these trees. I'm gonna trim them up though, so they don't get too tall. I just think they add character to the otherwise open field here. So I don't think they're going to interfere with any telescope or astronomical activity, especially if I keep them trimmed. The crabapple probably won't grow a whole heck of a lot taller than this. The silver maple, yeah, that or whatever maple it is, that'll definitely grow taller, but I can get out here now and trim it down and just kind of keep it this nice smaller shape and keep it the way it is. The field I have yet to have trimmed. I'm hoping to do that, or should I say bush hog, later this year or later this month. We'll see what happens. I want to get this all installed and paid for before I look into getting that done. But basically over in this general area here, in the eastern side, we'll put some concrete pads out so people can pull their cars up over here and park, and then near the observatory we'll have some concrete pads, so when people come over with their own telescopes, a 3-foot or 4-foot diameter circle of concrete on the ground, they can set up their scope and not have to worry about it being not level or anything like that. Maybe even indent on the concrete, which direction is north. So that's a very common thing people are looking for when they're setting up their scope, so they can get polar aligned. But yeah, I'm super excited. I was really surprised how quickly this road came together. I was thinking it would take a better part of a week here to get done, but they really busted through it. So who knows, maybe by tomorrow this big pile of soil right here, or gravel, will end up being on the pad, and then towards the end of the week is when they're going to finish up starting and finishing the trench. So they have to dig a trench from here all the way back to the barn in order to put in the conduit for the electrical service. And then eventually pull the electrical cable, and it'll just be roughed in for future setup and connections. So I think that's about it for this video, and hopefully we'll have some more progress videos as things go along. Stay tuned, subscribe to this channel, give it a like, and I'll see you next time. Clear skies.